I don't know how many more episodes I have in me. My voice is starting to go, but let's go. These chapters are like way long. I feel like each chapter, but I know this is like 2 times the size or whatever, but I feel like each chapter before was I got in like 2 chapters in one video. Anyway, an old memory resurfaces, making me pause. A young Eric crying, holding his broken arm. He's just gotten into trouble by following my dad, who was off on his own mission. He got a stern lecture about the importance of not butting into business that isn't your own. I stare at the stones and jolt wide awake when I realize the entrance is closing. I take half a step backwards and watch the entrance close up, looking like a regular wall again. Lana is not supposed to leave the palace, that much I know. However, following her, it's not any of my business. There's no doubt about that she's up to something, and I'm definitely curious to find out what exactly she's doing out there on her own. However, I shouldn't blindly run after her. The fire reflects off the gems on my armlet, a stark reminder that I'm being tracked. James has found me like this plenty of times. Even if I dropped it off here, there's no telling when he would come to look for me, only to find me missing. I've got a feisty spirit, but even I know when to rein myself in. Not today. Damn, and I thought we were gonna go. My day goes by as usual, working together with Bilius in the infirmary. So far, there have been no alarms that Lana went missing. Princess Valkii, Bilius vies for my attention. Yes? Sorry. I've been so caught up in my thoughts, it's hard to pay attention to what Bilius is saying. His eyes look at my wrist. You do not need to wear that any longer. You can keep it in your chambers. Oh, the macoette. But I like it, I say with a smile. I've got one from Bilius and one from Eok tied around my wrist. I didn't take them off. They feel special to me. I do wonder what happens if you give it to, like, everyone else. I would never give it to Lana, even though I'd want to, but she just has so many, you know? It just wouldn't be as meaningful. Giving it to Bilius back would be nice as well. That would have been a good option too, but Eok, he was never going to get any attention. And Lana gave Bilius one. So, James got some, Caleb got some. Do as you like, he concedes. We go back to work and I'm lost in my thoughts again, wondering where Lana snuck off to. At the end of the day, a surprise drops in. Bill! Her high chipper voice is unmistakable. Princess Lana, Bilius greets her politely. She's back and no one suspects a thing. Oh, I figured you'd be eating your supper by now, Princess Valkii, she says once she notices me. My stomach definitely hates me for staying here so long. There's always something to do in the infirmary. I will soon, I say with a smile. My curiosity is burning in the back of my mind. I want to know more. Where did she go? What about her tracker? I see she's wearing it right now, but what about the night before? That incident at the market when someone stole her armlet. Was it really stolen, or did she plan it? Is she, like, in with the rebels? I can't resist. I have to prod. So, Princess Lana, I say casually, I couldn't find you anywhere after the festival. Where'd you go? Oh, too much dancing and yelling. Straight off to my chambers for me. I was simply exhausted, she lies expertly. If I didn't know the truth, I would have believed her completely. Yes, Princess Lana had to be escorted back to her chambers. Bilius corroborates the story. It throws me off for a split second, but I compose myself. I catch myself staring at him dubiously. He's in on it too. I can imagine. All that dancing definitely looked tiring, I say with a fake grin. Marker festivals are always very draining. I just want to crawl into my bed and dream the night away, she says wishfully. She's really good at this, the lying. I didn't expect Bilius to be aware of it either. Though it makes sense now that I think about it. Lana comes to visit him often, not to mention they both wear trackers. I know why Bilius has to wear his. Lana's tracker is still a mystery to me. Caleb says it's because she runs away often, but why is she not allowed to leave in the first place? She's always deflected my question and refuses to answer it, which means she doesn't want me to know. Princess, why don't I walk you back to your chambers? Lana offers. Oh, sure, I don't mind. I'm just about done here. I quickly finish up any work I have left to do. After my shift is over, Lana escorts me back to my room. My mind is burning with questions I want to ask her. There's rumors going around the palace that say my brother is returning to your home planet for another mission. Lana starts casually. Is that true? Her eyes flicker over to me. She's vying for information. I think so, yes. That's what he announced at the dinner a while ago. It's been rather unclear whether or not that means I'll be returning too. I wish you all the best, Princess. May you see your planet one more time before that opportunity is taken away from you completely. It dawns on me that she means that the planet could very well be destroyed, much like with Bilius's home planet. Yeah, I say in a sad tone, I want to see my brother again. I'm sure you will eventually. Keep your chin up, Princess Valkii. If only her own brother didn't have a hand in conquering Earth. When we round the corner, I get knocked off my feet. James, if it's your muscular, tight body again, I swear to God. Ouch! I yelp when I painfully land on the tiled floor. No, it's gross soldiers. Princess Lana quickly helps me up, though her eyes are glaring at the two soldiers in front of us. Pests. Watch where you're going, one of them says in a deep voice. Perhaps you should stop wearing that bulky armor around the palace, then you wouldn't bump into anyone by accident. Lana snaps at him. Are you mocking our national armor? The other soldier huffs. Maybe we should take you to see Lord Veritas. He roughly grabs Lana's arm, pulling her towards him. I get in between them, feeling protective. Hey, pick on someone your own species. I snap at the soldier. The soldier releases Lana, his eyes now focused on me. Vermin has a mouth. Perhaps I should teach a lesson, he threatens me. There will be no such thing. Return to your post, Soldier Darroch, Lana says in a strict manner. Otherwise you'll have to answer to James himself. Name-dropping her own brother seems to have done the trick, as both soldiers back off. They mumble something under their breath until they shuffle out of view. What's wrong with them? They bumped into me, I grumble. Gauts don't like outsiders, Lana explains. Odd. I thought many soldiers respected you, I point out, recalling the time soldiers obeyed her without question. They all seemed to love her at the festival as well. Lana laughs at me, flipping her hair over her shoulder. Don't be fooled. In this world, many want my head on a spike. I'd like to ask her why, but we arrive at my door. She bids me a good night, and I'm still left with so many questions. A couple of weeks pass by in the blink of an eye. I've lost track of how long I've been here. There's one thing that gets me through each day, the hope I'll be returning to Earth. Finding some time and evading any watchful eyes, I manage to visit the garden again. It's so beautiful and serene. I'm starting to relax just by being surrounded by all the plants. Everything else in the palace seems so sterile, lacking any vegetation. It's pleasing to see the greenery. I give the bell-shaped plant a suspicious look, remembering to stay away from it. I traverse the small path, my eyes wandering around, trying to spot the young prince. That's when I see him, hunched over a small patch of dirt. Prince Nornis, I call out to him. I crouch down next to him with a pristine smile on my face. I managed to sneak in undetected, I explain. Nornis holds up his pale hand in front of me. Quiet, he warns me with a whisper. His eyes are trained on the dirt patch. Curious, I hold my tongue. Here, lend me your hands, he whispers. Oh? I hold out my hands in front of him. He takes my hands into his own, guiding them closer to the dirt. Dig them in, just like this, he instructs as he pushes my hands into the middle of the soft soil. It's a little damp. He releases me and pushes the hair out of his face. He's concentrating. Hold it like that. Nornis then uses his own hands to dig into the spot where my own hands are. I feel something moving in the dirt, something lightly touching my fingers. I have no idea what it could be. Get ready to cut it with your hands, he tells me. Excuse me, cut? Then Nornis twists his hand round in the dirt until he pulls them out, raising the dirt along with him. A long and slender root follows along, still stuck in the soil. The root is twisting like it's alive. Cut it! Not wasting a second, I conjure up a piece of thread between my fingers and slice the root in half. It immediately stops squirming, retreating back into the soil. Nornis then releases an excited giggle, leaning in closer to me as he shows what's captured in his hands. What I assumed was just a patch of dirt instead reveals a small white seedling emerging from the soil. It glows bright, like a heartbeat. The glowing continues as it sways from side to side, reacting to Nornis's own movements. Wow, I say amazed, taking my hands out of the dirt. It's a Neferi, Nornis explains with the biggest smile on his face. They sometimes need a little help with sprouting. This strangely feels like I just helped him with giving life to a plant. Plant labor. Nornis gently lowers his hands into the small pot prepared with soil beside him, burying the seedling, except the glowing dims until it darkens considerably. Nornis looks distressed. Oh no. Is it okay? I asked, concerned the seedling may have died. Nornis leans his face closer to the seedling, his lips nearly touching the small leaf. He closes his eyes and breathes on it with a powerful huff. Green droplets exit out of his mouth and land on the seedling. Nornis pulls back without another word. I anxiously wait for anything to change. Look, I say as I see the seedling start to glow again. Nornis lets out a relieved sigh. It's still alive, he says with a smile. Did such a good job, I compliment him. I'm genuinely happy for this small little seedling. Nornis's expression changes from happy to painful. Oh, is he alright? Nornis gasps and collapses onto the ground. Alarmed, I quickly look over his body to see any form of injuries. Prince Nornis, what's wrong? Did he get poisoned, perhaps? He seems to be sweating and short of breath. Weakly, he lifts up his arm, pointing into the direction of the fountain. He's mumbling something that's hard to hear. What are you saying? I ask, leaning closer. Water, he breathes out. In an instant, I understand. I grab one of the other pots next to Nornis and quickly run over to the fountain. I dip the pot into the water, quickly filling it up, then return back to him. Here's water, I say, and place the rim of the pot on his lips. Nornis weakly lifts his hand to be able to sip on the water. He ends up drinking everything I gathered. How are you feeling now? I ask. Nornis sits up straight, wiping away some sweat from his forehead. Thank you, Princess Valkii. I really needed that. Should I call for healer Bilius? I recall Nornis visiting the infirmary a couple of times. Perhaps he's sick? It's alright, I just need to recharge. No need to worry. He flashes me a gentle smile. Eventually, we move to sit down on one of the benches in the garden. How are you feeling? I ask, still worried. Better. My condition can become quite severe at times if I'm not treated promptly. Sorry for scaring you, he trails off. Don't be sorry. I didn't realize it was that bad, though. If I'm near water, I should be fine. That's why I like being in my garden, he says, and points to the fountain in the middle. Water, you say? Water is the source of all life, he explains proudly. Is that why Veritas is obsessed with other planets because his brother needs water? Does Veritas also need water? They're clearly not the same, species as anyone else here. Water is life. Eok said the same thing to me in the beginning. They came to Earth for water and conquered Bilius's planet for it as well. Was it all because of Nornis? There doesn't seem to be much water on this planet. It looks like a big desert wasteland. I know. Although why don't they just move to somewhere where there's water? I'm confused. I guess we'll learn, right? It used to be way worse. My brother tells me Yule was on the brink of death before he arrived. However, we have a lot more water available to us now. You're not from this planet? The question leaves my lips faster than I can think. I mean, yes, I did think it was odd how different they looked from everyone else, especially when Bilius told me that the Gout are from Yule, but I didn't stop to think that meant Veritas and Nornis aren't from Yule. Nornis shrugs at me. We're not, no. I was a baby when my brother brought me to this planet. I don't remember much from that time. My brain goes over his words at the speed of light. They arrived here, and somehow Veritas was made Lord. However, was he truly named Lord, or did he take that title for himself? Did he conquer Yule, just as he plans to do with Earth? I'm too afraid to ask, so I flash Nornis an awkward smile. Thank you for coming. I was starting to worry that you'd forgotten the way to the garden. I chuckle lightly. Not at all. It's just been very busy. I don't have a lot of freedom. Neither do I, Nornis confesses. You went to the Maka festival, right? I'm forbidden from going, so I don't know what it's like. He's looking at me with these curious-looking eyes, like he's waiting for me to say something. Yes, the Maka festival. I was allowed to attend. There was a very big bonfire and a dance led by Princess Lana. It was all very intense and explosive. Explosive? Nornis cries out. Was there an attack? Oh, I meant the energy was very lively, I quickly explain. That's good. I've heard some of the explosions in the city. It was poor Gout. Yeah, I trail off. It was very scary when I saw it up close at the market. His eyes light up. You've been to the market? Yes, I didn't go alone, of course. I was escorted and guarded. Then an explosion went off and we all had to return. Nornis stays quiet for a bit, looking straight ahead of him. Did you try out any of their foods? He asks me. At the market? Yes, I've heard many servants talk about the food there, how it's much better than here in the palace because it suits their tastes more. I'm immensely curious. I feel a pang in my heart. This poor guy, he obviously can't step foot outside of this palace, let alone attend a festival or visit a market to eat different kinds of food. Is your condition so severe that you can't leave the palace? Is that why you're not allowed to go anywhere else? Nornis bites down on his bottom lip. That's one of the reasons, but I can hold up quite well. If I carry a pouch of water with me, I should be fine. I've tried convincing my brother lots of times before, but he won't even listen to what I have to say. I'm sorry, that doesn't sound very fair. Then again, here I am, kidnapped against my will, also stuck in the same palace, but I feel for him, I do. So, why don't I tell you about Earth, my home planet? Did you know we have huge oceans of water there? I say with a grin, hoping to cheer him up. Really? Have you ever swam in it before? His childlike innocence is contagious and I can't help but answer his questions one by one. I explain how lush and wonderful Earth is like, with its wonderful rainforests and snowy mountains or the vast oceans. Nornis hangs on my every word, listening intently. It feels nice to talk about my home like this. It makes me miss it even more. Where did all the noises go? Oh, okay, we're leaving. Today is my day off. Billy has said he has some business to attend to himself, so with nothing else to do, I end up wandering the palace grounds. I stare at the door that leads to the secret passageway, wondering if perhaps I could slip out. The urge to break free, to escape from the palace, even if just for a moment, is so intense that it's hard to ignore. Not only that, I'm still very much interested to know what Lana is doing when she sneaks out. Does she visit a secret lover? Does she visit some sort of club, attend a gathering? She makes it look so easy, not wearing a tracker or it mysteriously vanishes. She walked right through this opening. Can I do the same? Can I go out as well without anyone suspecting? I know James likes to check up on me randomly, but that's still sparse and days can go by without seeing him, so it feels like there's no one constantly checking my location. However, he did say he'd end my life on the spot if he caught me without the tracker. Then again, death threats is practically his middle name, and so far he hasn't actually done anything. In fact, I feel like I have immunity because I know he intends to use my position as a princess. Surely, I can go out. I shake my head at myself. I really shouldn't be trying to actively defy the rules, no matter how stubborn I am. It's not like I have a good reason for leaving. I shriek out loud when I collide into someone's chest once I exit the hallway. She constantly is just... she's like a magnet for chests. Of course. Oh, Captain James, I say, noticing he's glaring at me. He frightened me. I quickly push myself away. My heart is hammering in my chest. Does he know about the secret passage? That's when I notice the tracking device clutched in his hand. He clicks his tongue, looking away from me. The tension is obviously on the tracker. This time, however, it doesn't seem like he's looking for me. Looking for Princess Lana? I inquire. Surprise shows on his face, however brief. I guessed right. He's looking for her. He must be. As a matter of fact, I am, he answers honestly, straightening his back. Have you seen her? No, I can't say I have. James releases an agitated growl. He doesn't know where she is. That means he doesn't know about that secret passage. Should I tell him of its existence? That Lana could have slipped out of the palace? It's right behind us. It would be so easy. No, I can't go revealing people's secrets just like that. Captain James, I call out his name, why is it that Princess Lana has to wear a tracker and can't leave the palace? For a while, he remains silent, his brown eyes piercing into my own. I'm going to find out the truth one way or another. Why is it that you're always full of questions? He asks, annoyance seeping through his words. And why is it you never seem to answer any? I quip. He's always avoiding the question or telling me to shut up. Actually, now that I think about it, Lana is exactly the same way. I guess it runs in the family. James lets out a huff of irritation and folds his arms. Challenging me won't make me answer your questions, princess. Yes, but it sure does make me feel better. He tilts his head to the side. Lana doesn't enjoy the same amount of freedom as the rest of us do. That's all you need to know. I blink at him. That's the most information he's volunteered so far. Well, I haven't... Speak of the devil. In the distance, I spot Lana up high on the balcony. She seems to be engaged in some kind of conversation with some soldiers. I guess she was in the palace all along. Actually, she's right there. I point towards the balconies. James turns to look in the direction I point, squinting his eyes against the sun. She's there? He asks, sounding unsure. Is he, like, bad with vision? Is his vision bad at a certain distance? Like, does he need glasses? Ooh, oh no. My vision is much clearer and detailed than his, as far as I can deduce. It's the same with anyone else back on Earth. They'd never really know what I'm looking at in the distance. Yes, there seems to be 2 soldiers with her. She looks a little angry. Angry, James repeats. Wait, those are the same soldiers we ran into a couple of weeks ago. That's when I see one of the soldiers grab Lana. She pulls herself free, throwing a punch in his face, except the second soldier punches her in the stomach, causing her to drop down. I gasp loudly. They're hurting her. What? The soldiers, they're hitting her. I'm gonna take a screenie. Dust fills my lungs as the shockwave blows a giant cloud of sand my way. I cough loudly, momentarily distracted, not quite realizing what's happened. Then I see it, James hurtling himself towards Lana at high speed. He's phased, his markings glowing a cyan blue. Taking a second to collect myself, I follow after him, running across the grounds. I don't know why I am. James has got this handled, but when I see the soldiers kicking Lana when she's already down, something inside of me just takes over. I'm halfway across. My heart rate is going out of control. I haven't exercised in forever, and James has already landed on the balconies. He knocks out one of the soldiers away from Lana. The other one, however, jumps on James's back. As I run closer to the large walls, I can't see them anymore. My vision is blocked. I can hear them grunting as they fight. Something large drops right next to me, scaring the living daylights out of me. Ah! I shriek, jumping away in surprise. It's one of the soldiers. I immediately look away as my stomach churns unpleasantly at the sight of a dead body. The distance of the fall instantly crushed him. I look up, expecting to see James handling the situation. Instead, I see Lana at the very edge, pushed off by the soldier. Shit. I spread my arms wide, fingers fanned out, and I shoot pieces of thread toward the walls. Lana falls before my very eyes. I can't weave a net fast enough. James! I yell at the top of my lungs. Lana reaches my dangly safety net, breaking apart several strands in an instant, but I try as fast as I can to keep spinning more thread. Her entire body makes a dent in the net, weighing it down until she almost touches the ground, and then bounces back up like it's a trampoline. James swoops in to catch her in midair, making sure she doesn't fall back down. I let out a breath of relief when I see her safe. My net was enough to catch her, despite the shoddy weaving technique I used. James lowers both of them down onto the ground next to me. Lana, are you alright? I ask, catching up with them. Those blasted fools, she says, huffing loudly. She pats down her skirt to remove any wrinkles. Lana, what happened? Tell me, James urges her. Their tempers got the better of them, or perhaps they've been lying in wait all this time until an opportunity presented itself. She's biting down on her finger, deep in thought. I'm glad you're all right, I say. She doesn't seem that concerned. Oh. Yes, thank you, Princess Valkii. Quick thinking. Another sound blast fills the sky, and suddenly Caleb appears as well. His eyes are immediately on the dead body on the ground. I heard a scream. Lana, what did you do? He asks. What did I do? Lana repeats, annoyed. Why is that your first question? There were these soldiers that were attacking her, I explain. Caleb inspects his sister's body for any injuries and finally notices the swollen cheek. Caleb looks at James, eyes narrowed. You didn't protect her. James growls at him in return. This isn't looking good. I address the problem. He points at the dead body. Another one up there too. You let them hurt her. Caleb hisses darkly. It is our duty to protect our family, to protect her. James suddenly grabs Caleb by his shirt, aggressively pulling him towards him as they butt heads. You think I don't know that? Can both of you idiots stop talking like I'm a child? I'm not some fragile being that needs constant protection just because I've lost my ability to phase. See, they've not used the AE, so I'm confused. The two of them break up and step away from each other. So Lana can't fight. Should I just say phase now? Phase. Maybe I've been wrong this whole time. Oh my god, I don't care. I do not care. I'm just going to keep doing what I've been doing. Is that why she can't fly? Lana, you are vulnerable, which is why the two of us need to make sure nothing happens to you. If one of us is allowing such infractions to happen, then... I did not allow this to happen, James cuts him off. This feels all wrong. Why are they all fighting with each other when there's been an attempt on Lana's life? Captain Caleb, no offense, but you weren't there, I speak up. It bothers me that Caleb is treating James this way when all he did was defend his sister as soon as he knew she was in trouble. Caleb closes his mouth and stares at me, thinking it's strange I decided to insert myself into their argument. Pardon me, he says. If it weren't for the captain, Lana would have probably died, I stress. So dramatic, says Lana, not impressed. Again, like I said, I'm not some helpless child incapable of defense. The princess is wrong, James cuts her off. If it weren't for her, Lana would have died. It was you that spotted her in the first place and somehow conjured up this web to catch her when she fell. Huh? She fell? Caleb echoes incredulously. And the princess caught her, James finishes for him. Is he paying me a compliment? Is he saying thanks? I can't tell. He sounds angry. To be fair, you caught her as well, I say. My net probably would have been torn apart had she bounced on it a second time. Lana throws her hands up in the air, agitated that everyone is talking about her while she's there. I'm done. I'm leaving. You two can clean up this mess. She dramatically starts climbing the stairs. Any other dead soldiers I should be looking for? Asks Caleb, referring to the one on the ground. Another one is up on the Logia. I don't know what that is. Logia? I don't know. Broken neck. This needs to be reported to Lord Veritas. James gives one hard, long look at his brother. Tell him the soldiers plotted to kill her. That is all. What if there are more? What if they weren't the only two? I ask, still worried they'd come after her. James chuckles slightly. Of course there's more. There always are. Lana has a knack for creating enemies. Suddenly, I feel like it's my fault. I recognize those soldiers from before. They bumped into me and got all angry. Princess Lana helped me out. It wasn't any of her doing, it was because of me. James walks up to me, lowering his face next to my ear. No, the fault lies with those soldiers. Do not take the blame when it has nothing to do with you. I stare down at my hands, feeling a little flustered. I thought he'd jump at the chance to blame this on me, but it's the exact opposite. Now, I suggest you return to your chambers as we deal with the aftermath. I don't exactly want to stick around any longer either. Dead bodies make my anxiety spike. Eventually, with James's urging, I go back to my room. As I'm sorting vials in the infirmary, I come across a section that's locked away. Bilious, what are these for? I ask, curious as to why it's locked. Bilious follows my line of sight. Prince Nornus's blood samples. They are not to be touched. I heed his warning and stay away from them. Does Prince Nornus have to do a lot of tests for his condition? I wonder out loud. I'm going to guess that Bilious is helping Nornus with his condition. There's a slight pause before Bilious answers. Have you been seeing the prince? Oh crap, I gave myself away. My visit to the gardens was supposed to be a secret. Well, it's none of my concern either way, he says, closing his eyes. However, Prince Nornus's medical records are classified. There's no need for you to know that kind of information, given your lack of medical training. He's right about that. I may be able to suture a wound, but I wouldn't be of any use when it comes to analyzing blood samples. I can't even read their language. I will tell you this, Princess Valkii. The reason you were most likely taken by Prince James is because of the young prince's condition. That is starting to make a lot of sense to me. When I first arrived, Bilious told me Veritas disposed of anyone who wasn't useful to his quest. This quest, is it about Nornus? Oh, you mean Lord Veritas is looking for a cure, and he's rounding up anyone with any medical abilities? Bilious remains quiet, but his silence speaks volumes to me. Nornus says he is all right as long as he's near water. James spoke of Earth's oceans and vast amounts of water at the banquet. Bilious said that only people with medical abilities were taken. Is that really it? Is Veritas conquering planets because he wants to cure whatever it is that Nornus has? Just for a single person, he is willing to sacrifice billions. It's the whole, like, I'd let the world burn for you type of deal. I'm left to ponder my own thoughts for a while. I get into a fit of coughs when I inhale a bunch of dust from moving an old-looking container. Are you all right? Bilious asks. I clear my throat. Yeah, just a bit of dust, I say, coughing one last time. Let me know if your cough gets worse. Fine. Oh. By the way, Princess Valkii, there's something I wish to discuss. Yes? Tomorrow your assistance won't be required. I won't be present as I need to attend some other business. Wait, what am I supposed to do then? Bilious flashes me a tiny smile. You can use your day off to relax, perhaps visit a certain garden. I guess it's not a secret that I've been to Nornus's garden, but at least Bilious seems to be keeping it to himself. I guess he's full of secrets. That sounds nice, I reply. A day off. All I want to do is crash on my weird bed couch and sleep. However, I was wholly unprepared for another person to be inside of the room. Oh, hey, Nornus. My heart just about stops seeing Nornus sitting on my bed. Prince Nornus, what are you doing here? You really scared me. Looking apologetic, Nornus stares at the floor. My apologies. He then stands up to get closer to me, a grin spread widely on his face, as if he's unable to contain himself any longer, bursting to share with me some kind of interesting fact or news. I really wanted to let you know that about the Neferi. It's grown so much since you last visited. I wish you could see it. I can't help but smile in response. His enthusiasm is always contagious. It's good to hear the plant I helped with is still going strong. I would love to see it, I answer honestly. Have you been taking good care of it? Why, yes. Though it would need to move to another pot soon, as it's growing quite fast. I wish I could select the pottery myself, but I always have to make do with what the servants give to me. Nornus looks deep in thought, probably mulling over the fact he doesn't have a hand in picking out what he wants. That's too bad. Can't you tell them which one you want? I tried, but they always get the size wrong. I've lost many seedlings because they outgrew their containers. He looks genuinely guilty. Gardening is not something I have much knowledge about, much less when you add special abilities that makes plants grow. I do appreciate the work that goes into it. It must be pretty important for Nornus to get a good-sized pot. I remember a very lovely pottery stand lovely pottery stand at the market last month. My eyes widen as an idea formulates in the back of my mind, like an urge growing stronger and faster. To tell you the truth, Prince Nornis, I'm free tomorrow. Really? Then you can come see me. His eyes light up with an energy rivaling the sun. The corner of my mouth lifts up as my lips transform into a devious smile. I slip off the tracker from my arm. Prince Nornis, do you want to see the outside? Bum bum. Bright. It's too bright. It's too bright. Okay. I'll see you in the next one.